So good.
Oh, it's bananas.
I love it.
You know what else is bananas?
What's that?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Pixel. My name is Kevin. With me, as always, is Phil. And today on the show, we are continuing down the path of... Fuck it, I put my book somewhere again. Anyway, we're talking about Floating Castle. I grabbed it this time to bring it in to sit down and
you so rarely have the physical copy. You've got a.
I think I left it in the bathroom.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a good place to read this book. Honestly, it's relaxing.
It's a good toilet read.
Keeps you calm while you're
keeps
pooping.
you calm. Keeps you regular. You know.
Yeah. You're gonna find excuses to go to the bathroom. Let me tell you. I don't know what I'm implying there.
For all the walking around that's in this book, because we are like beat for beat, everything Alexander's doing is accounted for in the book, and yet he has not taken a shit.
Exactly. It's only because of a presumed PG rating, I think. And the general decency of Craig Mills that kept that from happening, because they cover everything else.
They cover everything else. I just have to assume that he's pooping his pants.
I mean, yeah, that's probably it. Alexander, he's used to having servants who will empty his pants for him, and
yes,
and the wizard is just too polite to bring anything up.
They just rip the back out of his pants.
Yeah.
Scrape it out.
Sew it back up. Yeah. And then at the end of the week, while he's asleep, they just replace the pants and act like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Same pair of pants. It's the same style, cut, color.
Exactly.
All that.
And Alexander never questions it. He just thinks this is how it works.
This is just how life is.
This is life.
When you are the heir to the throne of Daventry.
Yeah.
You don't have to wipe your butt.
You don't. It's so typical, isn't it? That King Graham, who chooses not to wear a crown when he's among the people because he wants to blend in and be one of the people, it really figures that he would end up raising a son who is like just the exact opposite. Just
the exact opposite.
Just so naive and spoiled and full of shit. Just absolutely.
Full of shit. Literally.
Just to the chin. Full of shit.
To the chin. Anyway, all that happens in between. If you really read in between the sentences, in between the words,
I think we all picked it up. Yeah. I think we all saw that coming.
So we left off at chapter 8, so we're picking it up with chapter 9 now. And when we last left off, they had gotten to the castle. They were like, how do we get in? I have a plan. And
that's right.
So
you made a call. I
made a call. I made a guess. They're gonna sneak into that cart that they passed by. And boy, howdy, they do exactly what I thought they were gonna do.
Classic.
Except they give up their most valuable possession, which they've only had now for like one chapter, which is it's a wallet of infinite bread. It just it could solve world hunger, but instead they give it to an ogre to sneak into the castle. Now, you won't understand why I'm so annoyed at this now until a bit later. But we're going to get there. It's going to be towards the end of the recap. Don't worry. We'll circle back around to this.
Yeah. We'll come full circle here, people.
Don't you worry. Come full circle.
Don't you worry.
They give the wallet to the ogre. The ogre's like, yeah, well, if I got infinite bread, what the fuck do I got to guard carts for? Bye.
Which is a great point. That's a great point.
Ogre's like, I got a bridge. I got a bridge I can go sit under and eat bread for the rest of my life.
The dream. Honestly. I would kill for a bridge to sit under and just eat bread for the rest of my life.
That's actually not far from Phil's goal in life.
That actually is not far.
For being 100% honest, that's not too far from the truth.
I mean, finding a cabin in the middle of the woods and raising a whole bunch of corn and chickens and that sort of thing is really just the Hobbit equivalent of a troll under a bridge with a wallet of infinite bread plus 5. So
plus 5.
Plus 5. It's a great artifact.
So they get into the cart and they wait, and then 2 black knights show up. And they're like, where'd the ogre go? The ogres, they're unreliable. Shrug.
Racist.
They take the cart into the castle. And Cyril and Alexander have successfully snuck into the castle. And then they get off the cart and they just wander around the courtyard. There's a lot of description of the different buildings. There's a lot of different buildings. And we talk about them at length.
They just meander a lot.
They
in this
meander
book,
for
don't they?
about 10 pages. And finally they get to a door. They're like, well, let's try this door. And there's like an engraving of a boar on it.
Yeah.
And they try to open the door and the boar head engraving comes to life and starts screaming as like a terrifying alarm system. That's the end of chapter 9. Did that recap seem short? Sure. Like, as I said, there was a lot of meandering.
Yes.
And description of architecture.
The moment in the last episode when they walked up to the castle and literally were like, well, we don't have a plan, but we'll figure it out. That's this whole book. There is no plan. There's barely even like thought moment to moment on what they're going to do. And it just continues in this way.
It continues. So chapter 10, the knights show up as per an alarm going off, and Cyril and Alexander run around. The knights chase them. They get encircled. Alexander backhands the head off of one of them.
Yeah,
and
really
under the helmet, smacks it hard. And under the helmet is just like a floating ghost flame face that looks really mad.
Yeah,
and then it like evaporates into the air, and the armor collapses.
Yeah, it's very Ghost Rider.
It's very Ghost Rider, yeah. So they end up getting captured, and they're brought to Telegrin, who does not remember Alexander from the few days prior that he saw him, and thinks that Alexander is there to steal away Princess Lydia. And then it takes a little bit back and forth between Telegrin realizes, oh, you're King Graham's son. And that's where he reveals that all the Black Knights are actually former kings that he stole the soul out of and put them in the suit of armor because he is, Telegrin likes to fashion himself the king of kings. He is Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, exactly. Spooky wizard Jesus Christ.
So that will be King Graham's fate if Alexander cannot get his soul back.
I mean, I gotta say, if you had no context for an American audience or even a Western audience, the idea of a bad guy who enslaves dead kings to do his bidding to make him the king of kings, that's really interesting and actually very, very cool.
And kind of fucking metal.
And fucking metal is shit. But you are not, we do not live in a world where the term king of kings is not severely loaded. Like, you know what you're doing here. Please.
Yeah, you can't reclaim that one.
No, that one's gone.
The Christians are keeping that one close to the chest.
Yeah, kiss that one goodbye.
It's right next to their AR-15s.
Right.
Look at me. Whoa, hey, political.
Hey, oh. They lost the rainbow. They are not going to lose King of Kings. They're just we're
going Andrew Dice Clay voice
topical
here.
Podcast. Topical.
What's okay?
We are basically political philosopher kings.
We are the king of the Chapo trap houses of the world.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Precisely. I couldn't have put it better.
Precisely.
Yep.
I don't know why I default to Andrew Dice Clay voice.
That was an interesting choice. Yeah.
It's an interesting choice. I should have gone Rodney Dangerfield, which is like a few degrees south of that.
It's just a step or two. Yeah, it's just down the hill.
No respect.
No respect.
It's like,
yeah. See, it's all on the same continent.
It's in the same, it's in the same strata.
Yeah.
So Telegrin's like, send them to the Rancor pit. I mean, the Barakar pit.
Right. Right.
Chapter 11. Cyril and Alexander are led down to a dungeon where the Barakar is. Alexander's like, maybe this is a good time to attack the knights, but it doesn't work.
No.
Okay.
This is all just this is all they are running in circles. This entire
Alexander's
section.
the worst hero in the world.
He's awful. He is just
awful.
the worst.
There is nothing that it's not like he has a goal and he's like in like storytelling. There's like, you have your goals and then you have your intermediate goals that the character's trying to take. And then there's the failure. This is just like Alexander saying, fuck it, I'll do it live. Every story beat.
No, this is Alexander's stream of consciousness adventure. That's all this is.
Maybe if I push one of the knights, that'll help.
Right.
Doesn't do anything.
Well, no, when you think about it, as an adventure gamer, that is how you play these games. Just click on everything, combine everything. Yeah. But it probably shouldn't be in your novelization. You should probably skip that part.
The problem is every action he takes doesn't have some actions do and some don't. But this action in particular, it has no effect on the plot. None. You know what I mean? Like there's no adverse reaction.
No.
He's just back to where he started before he took the action. So why even do it?
So why have it? Exactly.
Why have it? So they get down to the dungeon, and I don't know how to describe this entire sequence other than they Scooby-Doo around the dungeon for a bit.
That is exactly what it is. They describe it as such. Like it's literally like they go through one door and then they run into another and then they run into, all we needed was like funny 60s, style beach music playing in the background. And it's
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Where are you?
It's absolutely that. We should have brought in Scott on this one. Like we should have
brought in Scott for this. Yeah. From It's Probably Not Aliens, for the noted Scooby-Doo lover, Scott Nicewander.
The leading Scooby-Doo scholar of our time.
He is the leading Scooby-Doo. He actually might be. I
think he might be.
So
I
the Scooby-Doo around
reason that he wouldn't be.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't see anybody else taking the mantle.
No.
They get deeper and deeper while the Barakar chases after them. And the Barakar is like a rat dog thing. Yeah. And eventually they come upon a door that they can't open. And everything seems hopeless. And Cyril's like, okay, well, this is an emergency. I'm going to use magic. And he casts Fireball and rolls 46 and incinerates the Barakar.
Just brutal.
And I actually looked up that it's a D6 for Fireball. I just wanted to be accurate on that.
Well, he rolled a D6 and it somehow exploded and turned into 50 D20s. Like it just. There are a lot of things in this book that are actually, for all its faults, very accurate to the King's Quest brand. This is not one of those moments.
Yeah, it just absolutely melts the Barakar. There's only the skeletons left.
Yeah.
It shoots past it. It hits a wall, melts a hole in the wall, bounces back, and they have to dodge out of the way. And they're like, wow, that was a lot. So they sit down because Cyril's become a sleepy boy, and they talk about where Graham's soul might be, and they're like, "Well, it's not in the same place as Princess Lydia, because she's in that one house that we walked by." And then they take a nap.
I feel like using magic for Cyril, it's very cocaine-esque. He uses magic and he gets like really hyped and starts like babbling about like the power of it all, and like he's doing everything but telling you how he's going to write this awesome screenplay, and like it just, and then suddenly the crash comes and he's just like, I think maybe I should lay down, and like, oh, I've known that guy, knew that dude. Okay. Ooh. He manages a Hardee's. Wow.
He couldn't get another bump and he fell asleep.
That's it. He didn't have time to call the guy, and that was that.
He fell asleep, and you know what? He fell asleep in the middle of his bedroom on the floor. Yeah, he couldn't even get to the bed. He just like, I'm gonna nap here,
fully clothed.
Fully clothed.
Yep.
So chapter 12. Alexander wakes up first and he sees the hole in the wall has cooled and he can get through it. And he goes through and he finds a headless man holding his own head.
Yep.
His name's Owen, and he's the original owner of the castle. And he's the guy who taught Telegrin everything he knows until Telegrin backstabbed him by chopping off his head.
Which,
yeah, you're asking for that when you take on an apprentice.
Yeah, I think we all saw that coming.
Because magic, Owen is like semi-immortal, you know.
Yeah.
He knows enough to keep himself alive after his head has been chopped off. Owen tells Alexander about the 3 magic mirrors that would let him move around the castle. He also says Telegrin wants to marry Lydia. Gross.
Sure.
Lydia is 14. By the way,
yes.
What is the timeline of events here? Because he's like, I took on Telegrin when he was just a wee lad. And then after 6 years, he backstabbed me. But isn't Telegrin like an old man?
Yeah, I don't recall if they describe his age or not. But yeah, you've got an evil wizard. You're assuming he's in his 40s at least.
Yeah, you don't get evil wizard status by like 2024.
No, that seems like cheating. You really gotta work for that shit. You can't just skip ahead. Fuck that.
That's like, trying to roll a lich like right away. Like
right. You're like, no, we're gonna go through a lot of, character development and more than a few dungeons, and then maybe we'll get you there.
Maybe when you find your phylactery.
Yeah.
We'll get you on that path.
That's a long-term goal at best.
Long-term goal,
yeah.
buddy.
No, I agree. I don't know if the timeline really fully makes any sense here.
Because Lydia is 14. I don't know. Whatever. And how much time does it take to kill all those kings and conquer all those lands?
Right. Like that's not a 6 month that's not your summer break,
No. So, So Owen wants his staff back. Alexander's like, well, I don't know if I can do that. And Owen's like, well, if you promise, I'll teach you how to get out of the dungeon. And Alexander's like, deal.
Yeah.
Alexander, annoyingly, every time there's somebody who wants to help him, Alexander's like, I'm not sure I should trust you.
Right. And then, well, I guess I'll trust it. Like immediately
I
comes
guess
around.
It's fine.
Immediately.
Chapter 13. Alexander fills Cyril in. And Cyril mentions that using the magic has drained him and that he probably shouldn't use the magic again unless it's a real super duper double emergency.
Right.
I'm
sure that will be the last time.
Yeah. They move through some magical puzzle rooms with monsters and obelisks, oh my. At this point, I'm getting really bored. They climb a set of stairs from the dungeon and enter the basement of the tower. And hold on, what's my note say? Oh, holy shit, this chapter goes on and on about stairs and rooms and vestibules.
Yep. Yeah.
I was so angry. It's like, we went up to the room and there's a box and it's so pretty. I'm like, fucking, why? What are we doing?
Yeah. It's really funny. And I mentioned this before, but it's just this thing where it is so on point with its loyalty to the franchise. Like it absolutely works in terms of like, this is King's Quest, no question. With with that attention to like all the little details like that and everything, but it just isn't working in a book. It truly doesn't. It's so dull. It's such a shame.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, they find the fucking mirror after like 14 different rooms and sets of stairs. Yeah. Alexander casts a spell on it. He's like, I see my father, and it's all wibbly wobbly. And then it's like, Cyril's like, we got to bail. It's the fuzz. Pretty
much.
The knights arrive. Chapter 14. Alexander shoves one of the knights and breaks his own arm? ?
Yeah, like kind of forearms him
Forearms
and then like it describes his arm as being like limp and hanging, like he dislocated his shoulder or something. Like, wow.
Yeah. And then they run up some stairs and they keep on running. And then they get off the stairs and whoops, they get caught by more knights. Real Hanna-Barbera stuff, guys.
Yeah. It really is. It's just back and forth and back. It's so weird.
Just give me
weird.
The sound effect of people running in Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Just like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That.
It's so weird. It's clearly I refuse to believe that Yakety Sax was not playing in the author's head as he described this, because this is mental. This is just there's no way anything but that was what was happening in his head. It's so silly.
Anyway. They get to the top floor. There's a door that won't open. Cyril blows it open with a wind spell and also happens to rip a hole in the wall in the next room.
Yeah.
And then Cyril grabs Alexander and casts a flight spell and they fly away for a bit. And then they start falling out of the sky.
Yeah, you're really starting to see why the older wizard was like, please don't let him
cast anything.
Please don't let him do this, because this isn't going to work out for anybody.
This is not going to work out. This is like Shadowkeep, but dumb.
Right? Yeah. Pretty much.
If all the characters in Shadowkeep were like level 7 or something, in their class, these two are level 1. They got
big time,
and they're going into like a level 10 dungeon.
It's so ridiculous.
So chapter 15,
so in over their
heads. Chapter 15, they land in a bog. Cyril's in bad shape. He's totally drained of his MP. Mm-hmm. They both nap again. There's been a lot of naps.
Yeah.
I'm glad saving the world there's time for naps when saving the world.
There's no rush. There really is no rush. Yeah.
Alexander awakens later and he's sad because he fucked up and then he falls asleep again. Nappy time. And in the morning he meets a woman, a witch named Xenophos, who asks if he's getting rid of Talagrin, who she doesn't like. He says yes. So she turns him into a frog so he can sneak into the castle.
Yeah. I love that he snuck into the castle, literally flew out of the castle, and needs another way of sneaking back into the castle.
So he loses the infinite wallet of bread.
Yeah.
He loses it. The thing that could feed his kingdom forever. He just gives it to an ogre to sneak. He could have just snuck into the cart, like distracted the ogre. Yeah. But instead, he gives it up. Gives it up. The thing,
found this witch to get him to be a frog, and the point is, he wasted one of the most valuable magical items I can imagine.
Yeah,
it's just.
And it's
pointless.
Like, okay, I get it. I mean, you put it in the book to be given up, fine. Still, it just makes you less like the character less, because it's hard to have there. Here's the thing: there's not much to Alexander other than the fact that he is fucking up everything constantly.
Yeah.
There's nothing else there other than what he's doing. And what he's doing is making pretty much the wrong decision always.
So you're saying Alexander is the George W. Bush to King Graham's George H.W. Bush.
Hey there. Whoa. Politics alarm. Woo.
Oh, I know you guys are upset now. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. To upset you.
George W.
George W.
He certainly was a president.
That's a person who exists.
That's a person who farted in the Oval Office.
Yeah. So, yeah, It wouldn't be. Here's the thing. It sounds like nitpickery, and maybe it is in the grand scheme of things. It's just that I can't get over how overpowered that wallet of infinite bread is. It's so overpowered. There's no trick to it. There was no monkey's paw twist where, because they talk about that. They're like, well, the fair people, the fair folk, the fae, they, all their gifts have like something dark behind it and there's none of that. It's just another item to be used to solve a puzzle. And in this case, it's like, it's just too powerful. It could have been any number of other things. And you basically, it's like, this is a literal money tree and dollar bills grow from it. And it's like, well, I'll use that to get me this new pair of slacks that I need to trick the guards into letting me into the castle. Like, no, there had to have been a better way. It's just so distracting. It distracted the hell out of me.
So many ways to use this thing. You could have written like a bit where like he fills the room with bread.
Right.
And like Tellegrin opens the door and he gets covered in an avalanche of bread. That's the way I would,
Yeah.
It's like it's like Chekhov's gun, but if Chekhov's gun was like you give a wallet of bread in the first act and you fucking get rid of it in the first act.
Right. And everyone's confused and, let's face it, frustrated.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. So, if you were like, come on, guys, get over the wallet of bread thing. I say to you, why? Why should we?
Why?
In this economy?
No. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is a meme. But at this point, yes. In this economy, we are concerned about where infinite bread is coming from. It is a valid concern.
Oh, gosh. So Cyril, chapter 16 now. By the way, the only way to reverse the spell is for him to be kissed by a princess.
Yeah.
Fine.
Fine.
It's chapter 16.
Fuck
Cyril takes Frog Alexander up to the gate and puts him down. And they have a long discussion about how Cyril should go take another nap or fucking, I don't know. Alexander hops into the castle. He does some frog ninjutsu. And he finds his way to Princess Lydia, who he convinces to kiss him. She does, and he turns back into a prince. And Lydia thinks that he's kind of hot. And then she says, but I actually haven't seen anyone else, so you might be average.
Which, if that's true, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And you've got a perfect out there. He's like, okay, well, you're 14, so yes, I'm actually very ugly. Compared to the rest of the world. Good
How
luck.
old is Alexander? Have we established?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say. But I tell you, this does take place before King's Quest VI. We know that much. So in King's Quest VI, I'm guessing he's like 18. So maybe it is fairly age appropriate if it's like a few years or something like that. But we have to be clear if that's true. We have to be
fucking
very
crystal.
Clear.
Because the only person's age that we've really established is Lydia, and she's 14.
It needs to be
crystal fucking
clear.
So then Lydia's like, "Oh, your caretaker can't see you. Let's get back into the house." So chapter 17, they go into the house. They go up the stairs and into Lydia's room. And Lydia describes her caretaker, Laurel, who sounds like a nightmarish creature. She's 7 feet tall, has 2 heads, and no hair. And Alexander needs to use the mirror that's in the room that Laurel often sits in. And because Laurel has 2 heads, one is always asleep and one is always awake. So she's always on guard.
One of us tells the truth, and one of us always lies.
And Lydia's like, I'm going to help. And she takes his cloak and a hat, and she begins casting a spell to make what appears to be an invisible man gag or something like that. It's, it's The Invisible Man starring Chevy Chase.
Right.
John Carpenter's Invisible Man.
John Carpenter's Invisible Man. Yeah. Yeah.
or was it Diary of the Invisible? I forget what John Carpenter's one was.
Oh, I have
with
no
Chevy
idea.
Chase.
I thought you were just making something up. I didn't know.
No, it's a real thing.
I did not know that. Right,
it's a real thing. So that's the that's the end of the section. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like, it feels like a lot and nothing happened.
Well, like a lot happened, but nothing happened at the same. We are like, a lot actually happened in 100. It's 100 pages, and a fair amount happened, but we are no closer. We got into the castle. We flew out of the castle, and then we got back into the castle again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not gotten far. And yeah.
The story is kind of tread water for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and as I've said, and I guess we'll probably continue to say, when it comes to the tone, this is actually kind of flawless for the King's Quest tone. It's got that old-fashioned fairy tale, sort of innocent sweetness to it. But the thing about the King's Quest games is it covered a wide variety of lands and places, and there was always something new, some new set piece to investigate and that sort of thing. We went through the woods and got kicked out of castle, and we're 2/3 of the way done with this book. It's missing that. I hesitate to say epic because it's such an overused term, but that grandness that is what is one of the many things that makes King's Quest so special.
Yeah, and I'm quite a bit. I'm bored. I'm bored.
Yeah, actually, you guys don't know this, but Kevin actually briefly said, do you think we could get these 200 pages read and just make this a 2-parter? And I went, yeah, sure, we could fucking try. He's like, yeah, I'm done with this. I am done with this book. Can we just knock it out? And then we both realized, oh, wait, we
don't have enough time for 200
we
pages.
have lives and responsibilities.
But goddamn, if I had known about it going into and we were like, all right, well, we're going to cover it just to cover it, I would have been like, all right, we're just going to just read the whole damn thing, and we're going to do a real cursory overview rather than a recap of it.
It's just Floating Castle is kind of an appropriate title because the plot really is. It's very.
It's a floaty plot.
It's floaty. It's kind of weightless. It doesn't have a lot of gravitas. It's sadly a pretty appropriate title. I don't see how they're going to. I mean, this isn't the worst thing we've read, but it might be one of the more dull things we've read.
No, it's not the worst thing we've read. And it's like, how do you define worst and all that stuff? And I think, okay, so worst is like, to me, on the scale of worst to best, like the worst stuff is like, is either nonsensical or like vaguely offensive in the way it describes things. Yeah. This is just like, well, its sentences are properly structured.
Right. Yeah. There are ways to waste an audience's time. Yeah. And they're like, and one way is being incompetent to the point that it feels personal. It feels like an insult. Which Dead Space comes to mind.
Dead Space, Dark Souls,
where it's actively wasting your time.
Yeah.
This is kind of like almost like a friend of yours who you really like wrote a book.
Yeah.
And you read it and went, oh, this just is going nowhere. And I feel bad about how boring this book is. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not my fault. I didn't do that. And I don't know if this is similar to the way you felt when we read the Dark Souls book, because King's Quest is such an important franchise to me.
Yeah.
That maybe that's why, like, I'm not taking it quite as personally, but I'm embarrassed almost. It's like you tell your friend that this movie is so good, you got to see this movie. I watched it in the theater and it blew my fucking mind. And 10 years has passed, and you watch it with your friend and go, "Oh, this is actually not as good as I maybe remember."
Oh man, this is actually bad. This is not
Science
a good book.
was not that good of a movie. Fuck. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I talked that one up after I saw it in the theaters. Boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy.
Ugh.
Oh man, Inception.
What?
Honestly, almost all of what's his name's movies, for me at least. Nolan.
Yeah.
For me, they wear off really fast.
Sure.
I don't think he has a whole lot of substance to the style of filmmaking. I feel like it's almost like you're watching an accelerated montage the entire time rather than really sitting in any scene. It's like things are just going. The end.
It's like very, very talented trailer editing movies.
Yes, it's like a trailer. It's like a trailer for an entire fucking movie.
Right, and it's a very good trailer.
Sure, it's amazing, but
it's a trailer.
I also don't like it. I'll be like, this was amazing, and then I'll be like, oh, it was all right, and then like a few years later, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I get it.
I think, and really, it's just from like Inception on. I think Inception was the beginning of it.
Yeah, Inception was kind of the beginning of him finding this voice that maybe we would all be better off if he didn't find that voice.
Yeah. I'd rather he didn't have that voice.
Yes.
So this is Inception, the book, for me, in that I don't like Inception that much.
Sure.
And I don't like this book either.
Sure. Yeah. I respect that.
That's what you guys tune in for, is the stunning critique.
Yeah.
That really only makes sense to my personal taste.
Beautiful similes.
Beautiful, eloquent similes.
Yeah.
It's like Inception if you hated Inception.
Right. Kevin paints a picture with words.
Wow.
That's what every time you get a chapter done, it goes wow.
Every time they take a nap, it goes wow.
Yeah. That would actually work. Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I think we've vamped enough extra time into it for how quickly it takes to recap. So I
think fast.
Yeah, short episodes. Who cares?
Yeah.
They're fucking free people. What do you want from us?
Yeah, what do you want from us?
What do you want from us? Sometimes
give us money if you want more.
Sometimes the books don't warrant long recaps because nothing happens.
Yeah.
In 100 pages, and we go 100 pages at a time. So I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah, that's not our fault, man.
It's not our fault, man.
We're trying our best.
Anyway. What are you playing?
I have still been playing Tormented Souls. Unfortunately, I ran into one of the more forgettable bugbears of old-fashioned games, which is the non-autosave factor. Of these retro games, and the fact that you have limited numbers of saves based on how many rolls of tape you find. And I got really far into it for me, and like an hour and a half into it, and died in a way that was impossible to avoid because these fucking Zombo guys, you run past them like you should. It's all about, it's like that Resident Evil thing.
They got long reach though.
You run past them and then they spit at you from a distance and you can't dodge it. There's no getting away from them. And it's like, I don't have a choice. And it takes 10 nails to bring one of these fuckers down. I'm damned if I do it. I'm damned if I don't. And I'm really frustrated. So I said, I'm going to give that a break. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I won't. And out of a sense of research for our show,
sure,
and B, a need to know if I was completely wrong and had misplaced my nostalgia and love of something, I played King's Quest VI from
Sure.
start to finish, which
Yeah.
was Alexander's Adventure. It comes after my favorite King's Quest, which was King's Quest V. And it was good. It's good.
It's good.
It's what I remember. It's heartwarming. It's charming. It's sweet. It's still, if it weren't for, I won't lie. I just did walkthroughs of it. I just experienced it basically.
Right.
And just, walked through the whole thing to enjoy the story. And I loved it. I had a blast. But there were moments where I looked at it and went, oh, there's one of those moments that we talked about where, oh, the dog's escaping. They're more of a LucasArts crowd over there.
They didn't want to listen.
Yeah, no, they don't care for Sierra Online. No, but it's. I saw a moment where I was like, oh, see, this is one of those nasty game breaking moments where if I hadn't done something way down the line right now, I'd be screwed.
Right.
And I'd basically have to start all over unless I was save scumming this entire way. And let's face facts, if you were a Sierra fan, you were save scumming.
Sure.
But I've fallen out of practice.
He's back.
Oh, you came back. Oh, but I really enjoyed it. I don't like Alexander as much as I like Graham, but
There's the puppy. Oh, he's
a sweet
cleaning
puppy.
Oh, he's scratching out here.
He's a tiny dog.
He's very little,
He's very small.
Brighton, come here. Come here, buddy. Oh, yes.
Here he come. Oh,
Yes.
Look at
Hi.
that face.
Say hi to everybody, Brighton. Hello, my name's Brighton. Brighton's voice is basically Toad. Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Yeah. This show is like 20% politics and like 15% showing off our pets from time to time.
Yeah.
I think that's what people come here for. So.
And then Bella is back there somewhere, and she doesn't like me. So.
There she is. So I went through that, and it made me feel good because at least it helped me go, no, this is still a really cute, charming story.
Sure.
For as inappropriate of a man as I grew into, I will never stop loving the wholesomeness of King's Quest, which has startlingly dark moments at it at times. For example, you visit death in King's Quest 6, and it's very H.R. Giger-esque and kind of crazy, but it's still very wholesome and sweet, and there are no real inappropriate moments. There's barely even any innuendo.
Sure.
I guess they just kind of left that to Leisure Suit Larry. They figured that's where you're going for that.
Put it all into one series.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's what I did. So, Kevin, what are you playing?
I am playing. What am I playing? I am playing the Dead Space remake, which is good so far. It's Dead Space. It's Dead Space 1, but I think they expanded it a little bit. Also, it seems like it's a little bit more open. Like once you get the tram operating, you can go back and forth between the different areas.
Oh, okay.
So
it's not so linear then.
It's not as linear, as it was at one point.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. It has some bugginess on the PC version that hopefully will be patched out soon. Because like sometimes it'll be running totally fine, and then suddenly there'll be like a frame rate drop to oblivion.
I have heard that it is a beast to run.
Yeah. It's so weird. And what's funny is I have everything. It looks good, and I have everything on relatively low.
Yeah.
And I still will get a random like spike, and it'll frame rate drop by a lot. So
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Am I playing anything else? No, not really. I've been focused on the Dead Space remake and listening to a book that you also read recently.
Yeah.
The Pixel It recommendation engine right here. We're dropping it right here. Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman.
Buehlman, yeah.
Yeah. So it's set in, I want to say the 1300s. It's like 1347 or something.
Yeah.
It's during the bubonic plague, and shit's bad. It's basically post-apocalyptic, you know.
Yeah.
It really paints a picture as to how terrible things were, and how on the precipice Europe was at the time.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. It is because not only is there plague going around, there are just straight up monsters from like fucking Blasphemous.
Yeah. Crawling out of the depths of hell.
So if you want to read a book that is like, oh, this feels like in the same vein as Blasphemous or Dark Souls, in a book form, go for it. Go for Between Two Fires.
Yeah. I finished it, and it's easily one of the most satisfying adventures I've read in a long, long time. It's great.
Yeah. And but the title is a reference to the Pope.
Yes.
The Pope would sit between two fires to burn off the plague from the air around him.
Yes. So, yeah, because they thought that worked. Yeah.
That's not how the bubonic plague worked.
It's not how any of this works.
It's not how any of this works.
But damn, it's a good book. It came out like 11 years ago, and I cannot believe I only just found out about it.
Yeah, it's 2012. It's a 2012 book. But the new printing of it that you have has a fucking badass cover.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
The original cover, like it has like basically it's just the text, and it has like a fire at the top and a fire at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Fine.
But this has got like that old medieval style Skelling Man kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's just, it's good. It's good.
I love a good medieval skeleton.
I love it. One of my friends on Twitter pointed out recently that it's just like all of the books that you've been showing off that you're reading on Twitter lately have had the most amazing covers. And I'm like, they have, haven't they? Like, yeah. I hate to put it this way, guys, but get a good cover for your book. It's going to grab people, and there's no getting around that.
I do judge books by their cover. You know?
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the package.
It sells books. It just does. And I'm such a physical copy guy that I love just having certain editions of books in my possession just to be able to look at them.
I haven't read this yet. But I love this cover. It's I'm holding up Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero, and basically it's what Velma wishes it was.
Sure. Oh, Velma.
It's more of like a adult oriented Scooby-Doo horror type.
Yeah.
It's not exactly Scooby-Doo, but the title Meddling Kids is, a reference to
it's a clear reference. Yeah.
It's a clear reference. So
yeah, I saw that at the bookstore the other day. It looks fun.
Yeah. I talked to Scott Nicewander read it, and he liked it. So
nice.
Okay. I mean, if he liked it, then it gets the Scott stamp of approval.
I tend to trust his opinion
on Scoob things. Yeah,
on Scoob things.
That'll do it for tonight's episode. If you want to go ahead, do us a solid. Follow us on Twitter. I mean, Twitter's breaking again as of this episode.
It's the thing is it's funny when we should all feel a little silly when it all began.
We're like, it's breaking right now.
Everyone was like signing everyone's yearbook at the end of the like, fine, we'll talk best friends forever, right? And
have a good summer.
Right. And I don't remember who, it might have been Robert Evans, who was like, that's not how this works. That's not what's going to, you're not going to like log in tomorrow and it's just going to not be there. It's just everything's going to be slowly breaking down and getting less good and less good over time. And we're really seeing it. We are watching it degrade and fall apart. And it's very sad. It's like watching your childhood playground rust and collapse in on itself. It's a shame. I know Twitter, that we all love saying like Twitter's a hellscape, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I've had some really good times on Twitter. I've met some really cool people on Twitter and networked. And I'm sad to see how shit the quality has become. It's a real shame.
Yeah, there was the story as of today, as of this recording. There's that story that there's the engineer that was just fired by Elon Musk because Elon Musk's tweet impressions went down.
Yeah.
And the engineer said, well, maybe people are just less interested in looking at your tweets. And Elon's response was, you're fired. You're fired.
Right.
And the guy confirmed it. He's like, yep, today was my last day. Good luck to the 2 other people there that know what's going on.
Right. It truly has become some insane, demented Roman emperor shit. You know, it's just
and he has no clothes.
Caligula-esque.
There's no clothes.
None. None. It's bad.
It's bad. And when people tell him he's not wearing any clothes, they get fired. That's literally the emperor's new clothes thing. Yeah.
It is a shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah. So follow us on Twitter at PixeLitPod and Instagram at PixeLitPod. Why not? You can go to our website, pixelitpod.com, where you can find, you can listen to the episodes there. You can get the transcripts of the episodes. You can sign up for our newsletter, where sometimes you get the episode early if I'm feeling frisky.
Absolutely. Kevin's feeling squirrely. He makes sure that you get something special early.
You get something special in your inbox, and it's an episode.
It's an episode.
Otherwise, and also there you can go and join our Discord. Our Discord has been creeping up in activity recently, so happy to see it. Happy to see people hop in there and talk to us.
It's a lot of you guys joining us lately. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us.
Yeah, come in, hang out. We're happy to have you there.
Absolutely.
So that'll do it. And have a good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.